Liverpool have absolutely cooked Man United, beating them 3-0 in the final game of their pre-season USA tour, and honestly, it was just a golfing class, like from minute one, really. Again, Liverpool go out with a very, very strong side. Still got Kelleher in goal, Bradley fullback, Chimikas fullback, and then the centre-half pairing, I believe, was Konate's first game of the pre-season, who got about 45 minutes. Looked a little bit shaky, but passing a little bit, all over the place, gave it away a couple of times, created a lot of chances for Man United, but got away with it in the end. United couldn't finish them off. And then Jarell Quansah alongside him as well, who's obviously started every single pre-season game and looked really, really good. Then you had your midfield three, so you had the likes of Jones, Szoboszlai, Elliott, very similar to the last game against Arsenal what we had. And then it's again the same front three with Mo Salah, Diogo Jota and Fabio Carvalho. And we might as well start with Fabio Carvalho, as he did score the first goal, putting us up 1-0 in 10 minutes. Now, the actual finish itself was a bit of a bobbler. I think it deflected in off Johnny Evans, if I'm not mistaken. But the little movement, the quick turn, he absolutely cooked Casemiro. Like, genuinely, it was like, we all know that Casemiro's kind of finished anyway, but that like cemented it. Like, you're getting cooked by Fabio Carvalho, who's probably going to leave the club this summer. So I don't know, there's levels to it. Liverpool don't want a bloke that's absolutely destroying Man United players, but there we are. Again, good little finish, good little move, and yeah, stuck Liverpool 1-0 up. To be honest, Carvalho's looked class all season though, which is obviously quite nice to see if they are going to sell him. I kind of hope they don't. Like, I know that since Schlopp's come in, he's literally sort of said it's like a clean slate for everyone. So I would like to see him get more minutes, more opportunities, because with this new system, with the sort of, not necessarily the double pivot, but there's no out-and-out forward as such, and it is more this sort of width play and cutting in. So Carvalho is brilliant at that, just actually travelling with the ball. So I'd like to see him get more opportunities, to be honest. Obviously, within that first half, as I said, Man United did make quite a few chances. I think Kelleher had to make like 4 or 5 decent saves. So again, it's not a perfect performance from Liverpool, without any shadow of a doubt. However, Liverpool were either doing enough to break them up, or Kelleher was pulling out a half-decent save, which again is obviously what you want to see from your number two. But yeah, Liverpool did look very gettable at in that first half, and again in the second half, really. I guess it's kind of to be expected, being as obviously the starting back four, there's only one player in it, and he potentially won't be in it anyway, in Jarell Quansah. I guess you had Konate as well for half the game, but you get the point. There's no Trent, no Alisson, no Van Dijk, no Robertson. So the quality will only improve and increase as these players come back from internationals and fitness, but in terms of the actual system itself, it does look as if we're going to be very attacking and exciting going forward, but we could potentially leave ourselves vulnerable defensively. At the same time, though, Slot is wanting to play free-flowing, attacking football with lots of energy, lots of fun, lots of pace, just genuinely just enjoyable to watch, which again is a very big part of watching football. It's enjoyable. I know you obviously want to have your team win, but there's winning and then there's winning the right way. So hopefully Slot can continue to implement that as more players come in and the system gets a little bit more solidified. Just to quickly touch on Man United, particularly in that first half, I did think Rashford looked quite sharp. He did sort of have a lot of chances, a lot of different opportunities, and he did look good. I don't know if he'll be back to his best this season. I mean, I'm obviously kind of hoping he won't be, but again, there's definitely like bright signs for United. I think 3-0, don't get me wrong, I do think Liverpool did deserve to win and were the better team, but I don't think Man United should be too upset with that. There's clearly a golfing class there between the two sides, but United easily, if they'd have taken their chances, could have drew that game. However, getting on to the second goal, you have the little Egyptian king cooking the left back. I don't know his name, the young left back from Man United. He absolutely fucking blitzed past him, smashed it across the box, and Curtis Jones just absolutely thundered in a sweaty goal from about 6 yards out. Couldn't really ask for any more. Great play down that wing. Again, obviously we all want to see Salah back to his best. He's looked very good this pre-season. To be fair, there's not anybody that hasn't looked good this pre-season, but obviously you want your biggest players to shine in moments like that, and he well and truly did. And again, a little touch on Curtis Jones. Obviously, he was essentially the double pivot again, wasn't he? One of those midfielders. Absolutely bombed it into the box. There's never ever been any doubt of Curtis Jones's attacking potency. Like, he's definitely better in that department than he is defensively, and he's not necessarily too bad defensively, but he's clearly, his mind is offensive more so. Yeah, cracking positioning. Can't really ask much more of him from that, and yeah, smashed it home for 2-0. And that was all it was for the first half, was just 2-0. It definitely could have been more. I mean, we had Bradley who sort of went through and then decided to sweaty it as opposed to like just try and put his laces through it. Salah was absolutely cooking the left back the whole fucking time, to be honest. He had a couple of opportunities that he could have done better with. But then going into that second half, we obviously start amazingly with Onana pissing over nothing, which is really, really funny and sort of summed up his Man United career. There's literally just a moment, he's running to get the ball just outside of his box and he just absolutely fucks it. It was really, really stupid to see. But again, there was a couple of substitutions as well. Sepp van den Berg came in, and so did Jaros in goal. Now, Jaros had a really good game. He pulled off a few very, very good saves. He also has unimaginably good distribution, which I don't think we've ever really seen before. But he was absolutely pinging it down to the right wing to Doak later on in the match. Like, looked fantastic. So, obviously, as the backup to the backup, probably won't see a lot of Jaros this season, but it's good to know that there's reliable hands waiting in the wing should we have another injury crisis, right? And then just touching on Van den Berg again, obviously he's played the last 2 matches as well. I think he's looked really, really good. I don't know, I still think Liverpool will probably look to ship him on and have him go back to Mainz or something. But if they were to keep hold of him, I honestly wouldn't be too upset. When you look at the injury crisis that Liverpool had in centre-halves, again, should that happen again? Or should you not look to buy another centre-half, which I do think Liverpool do need to do? There's not a terrible option waiting there. However, this is obviously all still pre-season. It's not fully competitive football. Is he going to be able to rise to the level of the Premier League each week? Don't know. There was a moment in the game where McTominay had a massive chance, which was saved very well by Jaros, and then also subsequently blocked by Tsimikas. And just a word on Tsimikas, I think he's looked phenomenal all pre-season. I think this has really solidified him being the number 2 left back again. I know Jones hasn't really been there to contend for that position, but he's looked so strong both offensively and defensively. Speaking of that, he did go and score the 3rd goal. So obviously again, really, really lovely, creative, flowing football, all down sort of the right-hand side of the midfield. Bradley gets played through, sweaties it across to Jota. Jota fires it in, good save from Onana, and the left back is there to tap it in and clean up. Happy days for the Greek scouser. And it really sort of, the heads had dropped then of Man United. They knew that this game was sort of done at that point. Obviously just touching on Tsimikas, we know that there's been rumours of Ait-Nouri potentially coming in from Wolves. Don't get me wrong, I do think Ait-Nouri is a good player. He's obviously got a few years sort of on Tsimikas in terms of you get more out of him over the course of his career. But as a second left back, as a backup player, I don't think there's many better than Tsimikas at the minute. And I wouldn't be upset if we signed a new left back. Obviously, I want Liverpool to sign somebody before the window ends. But I think that money could be better spent elsewhere than for a backup fullback, personally. So a little bit later on in the half, again, pre-season, you have the full squad rotation, don't you? We had the likes of Bajcetic coming in, Morton, Doak, Endo, all the hits, all the classics, all come flying back into the squad. But the tempo and the actual vibe of the team didn't change. They were still able to play that same football without really any detriment. I mean, the fucking Olays came out in the 75th minute, and Liverpool were just pinging it about beautifully. If that doesn't symbolise the gulf between Man United and Liverpool at this stage, it could be very different when they play in the 3rd game of the season. But in terms of this pre-season, I mean, I don't know what else will. It was... I don't know if I'd be concerned if I was a Man United fan, but I obviously wouldn't be very happy with that result. So then the game obviously did just sort of wrap itself up, really. Finished 3-0, no other real big chances or anything like that. All in all, this entire pre-season has been phenomenal for Liverpool, right? They've built on their performances every game. I thought they looked a little bit whatever against Betis. I thought they looked very good against Arsenal, and I thought they looked fantastic against Man United. And again, the scoreline and the performances all show it. I think every single one of those players has really put in a good shift, right from the young players up until your elites, your Mo Salahs. And the thing is, there's still so many more players to come back into that squad. As I said, 80% of the starting defence isn't there. You've got Núñez to come back in, Diaz to come back in, McAllister, I know is now training again, but he didn't feature, so you got him to come up again. Just a quick shout as well, Gravenberch did play, not Szoboszlai. It was Gravenberch that was playing. Again, just get some legs and minutes in the tank, looked fine, nothing really to shout about with him. Probably why I forgot he was playing. But yeah, there wasn't really too much going on there. But in theory, with the attributes he has, he could fit that double pivot system arguably better than anyone. So if they can shine and get the best out of him, could see him starting a lot more games for Liverpool this season. But yeah, all in all, I think they've been fantastic. It'd be nice, fingers crossed, if they can maybe look to bring in a little bit more talent now. Like, Schlott has had his tour, he's seen all what he's got, he's seen what he likes, potentially seen what he's disliked as well. How can he now look to rectify and remedy that? Obviously, the only way is to bring in players that can fix that. Is this something he's going to look to do? I would be very surprised if we don't sign anyone. I think it might only be one, maybe two, but to bring in a new manager and not sign anyone, it would be a huge decision, and honestly a massive fucking middle finger to everyone in the whole of the media, if Liverpool go do bits without signing anyone. But I would be shocked if nothing does happen in the window. But that's pretty much it from me. Again, pre-season tour has been absolutely sick. I think the next game is against Sevilla. I think there's one more friendly before the season starts, which will be interesting in itself. So again, fingers crossed they can carry that momentum forward. But more importantly, what do you guys think? Have you enjoyed this pre-season? Have you picked up any concerns, anything you're worried about? Let me know in the comments down below. And as always, if you have enjoyed this video, please do consider subscribing. And again, thanks ever so much for watching.